Okay. It's 4:20, everybody. I don't know what that means. I never heard of it before, but it's Risk On, everybody. It's Wednesday, April 20th. I guess it's Elon Musk Day. It's Skylar Waltering Day. I saw Elon Musk saying last night. By the way, last night, this is episode, let me get to this point real quick. This is episode 211. 211 times we've had a Risk On episode. Skylar, you have been here since day one. The first day that we gave birth to the show, you've been here.
I know. I remember when you were like, "We're gonna do a show," and I was like,
"Crazy, huh?"
I was like, "What do you mean?" And then it turned into this. I remember when we started, we had like 6 watchers, 12, maybe,
like
on a good day
or something.
We were like, 12,
the other day we had like
yay.
9,700 people, and
yeah,
it was crazy.
So it's grown a lot.
Speaking of a lot of people, Elon Musk is on Twitter, and he has one of the largest followings, top 10 followings anyway. And last night, they featured my tweet to Elon underneath Elon. So I responded to him. He said, blank me tender. Or no. Love me tender. Okay, no. He said, blank is the night. And I said, tender is the night, Jackson Brown. And they picked it up. It was right underneath it. And it went completely crazy. That was like my one Elon night where, thousands of people retweet his shit, right? And I was like right on it. And obviously, because we think he's going to tender we think he's going to tender for Twitter, which hopefully he does. Today is 420. It's Skyla's favorite day. She described to me that she has a 17-inch bong.
I do.
One time,
I brought it out
and
yesterday.
I rarely ever smoke marijuana. I only do it legally in states that are legal for medicinal purposes so I can sleep. But one time I took one hit from her bong.
Different bong.
Wow.
It's dead now. It broke.
Yeah. I only do it. It helps me sleep and I have some aches and pains. But, it is legal here in Nevada. All those people who see that and say, wait, Todd took a marijuana hit. It's true. And then, of course, people were tweeting to me, it's F. Scott Fitzgerald or whatever who really said it, not Jackson Brown. I see my man Patrick Gaines out there, who I've known. He was at me actually at my wedding. Patrick and I go so far back. But speaking of new people in my life, we have a special guest, Greg Reid here. He is a master motivator. He is a writer for the Napoleon Hill Foundation, one of the most important books to me ever written about business in the whole world. Was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I read it when I was young. I am a believer in this so much. And when I met this guy, I was like transfixed. And I'm like, okay, we're going to fucking be friends. I don't even care if you like me or not. Just kidding. I didn't say that. But we are friends. And I got the privilege of being at his secret knock, famous networking thing. And this guy, it was the most eclectic thing. I went into this room where there were multiple stages. You could go back and forth. It reminded me like of how people, I'll explain that part later. It's really fascinating how he did it. And I'm on stage waiting for me to speak because Greg's going to interview me. And there's hundreds and hundreds of people there. And I see the founder of UGG Boots, and I see, what's her name? I knew her because I met her in Idaho. It's driving me crazy. She was in Star 80. Merrill Hemingway. So Merrill Hemingway walks up to me. I see people that are massively famous. I'm like, why are all these people here? I mean, it's crazy. And I'm sitting on stage, and up walks a woman who he introduces me. He says, hey, this is Carol. And I look at her. I'm like, wait a second here. Wait, don't we know each other? So what's your last name? And she said, Baskin. And I was, for the first time in my whole existence, probably since the day I was born, I did not know what to say. It was Carol Baskin from Tiger King. I was, holy smokes. Anyways, Greg Reid is going to be a speaker. This guy is, first of all, I like anybody who loves their kids. He has a great young son. He loves his kid. He takes great care of him. He's a proud father. I don't know how to explain it, but he's like always in a good mood, and he's always putting out a positive vibe. He's a speaker. He speaks all around the world, and I'm so excited that he's going to be at the Risk On conference the 12th through the 15th. He's going to be a speaker. This guy will get you motivated, and he's massively connected. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I was at his conference just going, wow, this is crazy.
That's my favorite conference.
Bradley's going to be there. Lee Steinberg's going to be there. Charles Payne, Chris Wu, Greg Fox, who had yesterday on Bitcoin Weekly, which was great. Connor Daly, Aaron Schock. Thomas Lee is going to be there. Thomas Lee is going to be there. Finally, he's agreed. We had a little technical difficulty, so he's going to zoom in. Can I say the other people yet? I don't understand. You're putting out tweets that say Damon John's going to be there. You're putting out tweets that the guest speaker is the Mooch, Scaramucci. I mean, this is getting to be a great conference, and you got to sign up. Let's roll the clip. It's 1-844-4-RISK-ON, and then we're going to have Greg Reid on, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to cover a lot of stocks. We're going to talk about Mullen. And by the way, you should pull up the old shows. Somebody told you not to be long Netflix. I wonder who that could be. Somebody was short Netflix. Now, obviously, I covered, to be clear. I wasn't short going into the print yesterday. But boy, oh boy, did it feel good. Because eventually, insanity works out. You can, by the way, have stuff that's undervalued and totally insanely undervalued, or you can have stuff that's totally insanely overvalued. I have my opinions on that. I'm not going to comment on what I think is undervalued, but I'm going to tell you that Netflix got its head cut off, $50 billion. We were short at 700. Now, we did cover early. I got to admit, I'm not claiming that I wrote it all the way down. I'm not saying that. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm going to say. Roll the clip, Brett. If you have a business that's doing $1 million, $500,000, and you want to grow to 15, 20 million, these things are going to be available to you. We are launching a platform, the Risk On Business platform.
This will make somebody's life about 1,000 times better.
You got a business and you want to expand your business, whether you're in the restaurant business, you're in technology, you manufacture something, whatever your business is, if you want to scale it, you want to be here. This is going to be a conference where you can learn something, meet people, and network. Limited slots are available. Head over to riskonevents.com. Greg Reid, you are in the house, my man. What's up?
Oh, man, it's good to see you, my brother.
How are you?
Amazingly great. Thanks for having me on today. I look forward to seeing everyone in Las Vegas. I got to tell you, you have got an incredible event laid out before us, and I'm honored and privileged to be just a little tiny speck on the wall.
I appreciate that. It's funny, you know, I don't know, do you pay attention to the public stock market, or are you really just focused on training people and helping people? Do you pay attention to the market at all?
Oh, yeah. I keep my eyes always and ears, and also a lot of the crypto market, though. I'm very strong in the crypto space, just like you, obviously. So that's been my main focus and awareness.
Right. So are you a Bitcoin guy, Ethereum guy, or just all kinds of crypto?
No, I'm pretty much the blue chip version of it. So I've got some Bitcoin, Ethereum, I've got, ADA, I've got Polkadot, all the heavy hitters, because I believe it's going to be a long-term run, especially now. I can't give financial advice, but I would say that this year, and especially at the beginning of next year, will probably be the last time that the average person has an opportunity to even get into the market when it comes to Bitcoin. So I think right now we're at the cusp of something very great.
Yeah, I am such a believer in it that our company BitNow bought, we've invested and committed to invest over $100 million in mining operations, data center. We bought 20,600 miners. It's funny too, because I see where we are trading, and I can't comment on it, but I simply say, this is for me like a guy running a public company, been doing this for 33 years. I'm so happy we're getting long Bitcoin. I don't even pay. I see people commenting on. I don't even pay any attention to our current market situation, because I know what we have, and we've like put it in writing to everybody, and people just want to say whatever they're going to say. So I pay no attention to that. And I know that I translate into that because I know you try to help a lot of people with what you do with Napoleon Hill. And so I wondered if you could kind of explain to people, because I know you've had a producing background. I think you've had a music background. You have like a pretty eclectic background, and that show you did. Oh my God, I can't. There's not even a way to describe that show. I was sitting on stage and like the most famous people from Pfizer, I was like, what the hell was that?
It was a cluster F of amazing, cool cast. That's the whole idea.
Right.
And yeah, when it comes down to working with Napoleon Hill Foundation, quick little backstory. In 1908, Napoleon Hill was given this letter of opportunity by a guy named Andrew Carnegie to go meet his friends and write the first ever formula for success. 100 years later to the date, the surviving family, the grandkids in Napoleon Hill, and the foundation that bears his name basically gave me the same ticket. I call it my Willy Wonka ticket to meet anyone on the earth to find out what they're doing in today's technology, today's terms, and then write it into books and films to inspire the masses of the modern era.
Did we lose him?
No, I'm right here.
Okay, sorry. That was weird to me. I saw a delay. God, you guys, for those of you, be patient with me. We have like so much technology in here and a new teleprompter that it just like...
And by the way, we even had this same glitch at our event this last time, but we set it off with a precedent. And I think we should do the same with the Risk On. And the whole rule is be cool. Meaning, look, if the mics go out, we'll speak up. If the lights go out, everyone turn on their cell phone. If water runs out, go out and get some and bring it back to the table. If everyone's just cool and goes with the flow, amazing things will happen. And we don't have to be worried about being perfect. It's more about progression.
What I said was this guy is easy, relaxed, and helps people. And I told you, he just like transitions right into anything can be positive, right?
Absolutely.
So what did you do? What did you do in the music and entertainment business?
Well, I was very fortunate. At Secret Knock a few years ago, gosh, I think 8 years ago, I guess now, I had a gentleman named Frank Shankwitz. Now, you don't know his name, but he started a nonprofit called Make-A-Wish Foundation that grants wishes to terminally ill kids. And on stage, I asked him, hey, Frank, what was your wish? And he looked at me like I had two heads. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, you're the founder of Make-A-Wish. What did you ask for? And he says, no one asked me. I said, what? I go, I want to be the guy that grants the wish of the founder of Make-A-Wish. I go, what do you want?
Wow.
Anything you want, I'm going to give it to you. And he said, I just want my story to be told so my grandkids will know that I did something. So he signed over his life rights, and I said, I'll make it into a movie. Just know I've never made a major movie. And it took 6 years of trials and tribulations, but when it came out, it hit Netflix, like you were just talking about. We streamed for 1.5 years on that channel, and now worldwide, and we're up for an actual Academy Award where we're on the short list for the Oscars called Wish Man. And the moral is that everyone can be a hero. You don't have to wait till you're a millionaire or a celebrity. Everyone can give a pair of socks to a homeless person. Someone can stop a bully from fighting. We can all do something kind to leave a better life and legacy for tomorrow.
Dude, this guy's amazing. Coming up, we're going to be covering the market real quick. And hopefully, Greg, are you going to be able to stay with us through the whole show, or do you have to jet off?
Oh, hang out.
Good, good. So, Greg, when you put on Secret Knock, how do you get all those, how do you get such an eclectic group to be there?
I hang out with people that I want to hang out with. Same thing as you're doing at Risk On. That's why I was so fired up. All the people you're listing are the people you want to hang out even in your own living room. And the secret of success is to surround yourself with people that you have respect for, not people you have influence over. And that's what you've done, is you surround yourself with some of those amazing positive thought leaders who are actually taking action and getting the results that you want. And now they're going to share their information so we can do it too.
Greg, how do people follow you if they want to? I know you are, and I see you verified, and I can follow you. But how do people follow you? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, just go to Instagram, Greg S. Reid, and click on it. In fact, you can DM me. The only thing I ask for is I don't talk about the weather or what your kids ate for breakfast. But if you say, hey, what's a good business book or maybe a connection I should have, I promise to get back to you right away.
Yeah, so it's Greg S. Reid, right?
That's right. The S is in there.
Yeah.
It's very important. If not, you're going to think I'm a football player. And trust me, I'm not that big.
Yeah, verified, about 1.1 million followers. And you also have gregreid.com too, right?
Yeah, gregreid.com. But the main thing is I'm out there on Instagram majority of the time because I like to stay connected with everybody.
When will be... Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'll give everyone a quick little tip how you can get connected to everybody. Listen, no one wants to go to lunch with you. They don't want to have dinner. They don't have coffee. They don't want their brain picked. But if you can be specific and say, hey, I need just 3.2 minutes of your time. I want to ask one simple question. I'm working on this project. What should I do here? The chance of them getting back to you is tenfold. Start reaching out to people that you want to have association with. You'll be surprised how they get back.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I probably get a ton of messages. Right now, everyone's asking me about something called an ATM, which is an at-the-market transaction where we're raised capital. And what's funny is, amazing to me is that it's actually in writing. People can read it, but they want to text me. And even when I answer them, I get 300 more questions with the same question. So I stopped answering them because on days where they think I'm actually doing something, I'm not, and vice versa. They just, people don't want to fall. I guess they don't want to be specific like you're saying, and they're kind of all over the map. So when someone gets a hold of you, I notice with me and you get back right away. When I say something to you, it's almost like you're sitting looking at your phone, which scary because I've messaged you like at 2 a.m, but you get back to people right away. And when people want to go and like see something you're doing, how do they go to Secret Knock? Is it invitation only? Can they go buy a ticket? How do they get to go to see one of your shows?
Well, it's kind of interesting. Forbes magazine, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur has rated us the greatest event you cannot go to. So you have to go to a website. It's secretknock.co. We left the M off so you couldn't find us. You fill out an application, and then when you pay the tuition, we still will not tell you where it is or who will be there.
Right.
It's a secret. It's got to go in faith. And then when you show up, we have to deliver. So like you said, trust me, we're going to go far overboard to make sure that you're getting the deliverables and you're getting the value that you expect.
I noticed when I was even a speaker, you just said to me, it's in this general area. You wouldn't even tell me where it was. And I was going to be speaking on stage. And then tons of people were there. And so all those people, when did they find out like where it was going to be? Like, did you just give the area first and then the specifics? Or did you?
We just say this. They always say the city and state and the date and the time, and that's about it. So you can book your flight and you can book a hotel somewhere in the vicinity. And then right beforehand, we drip the location, and we do it specifically and strategically. It's because we're moving around every time. So like when I had President Vicente Fox last time, he didn't want to bring Secret Service. So no one knew where we were. So we didn't have to worry about it. And then he got to explain exactly how George Bush tried to talk him to go into war, but wouldn't do it. We did a private Skype with Edward Snowden while he's hiding in Russia.
Yeah.
And we bring these amazing people and we have access. So we make sure we're always moving so no one knows where to find us.
Yeah. Skyla, you were there. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was actually like kind of complicated because I was trying to like book a hotel in the vicinity and I was like, well, I don't know where it is.
Right.
And I was trying to figure it out and I didn't know.
And Skyla knows I'm a little bit of a bitch. And I was like,
he's like, well, where is
I'm a
it?
bitch
I was like,
because
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
I'm
He's
Skyla,
like, you don't know?
I want to know where I'm going. I want to know how far the
I was like,
hotel
I
is
don't
from my
know.
event.
Sorry.
Because everyone says I'm full of goo, which is not true, but I do walk. I do exercise now, but I am on the out of shape side a little bit, as you know, and so I like to be close to the event. And
well, it worked out. We were right down the street.
We were right down the street for sure. Actually, I really enjoyed that day, and I don't know if you know this, but I came to your event, we spoke, and then I met a bunch of people. There's some people going to Indy, by the way, that I gave tickets to, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then I went to this great lunch there. I hung out with Ryan. The whole thing was incredible. And I really do suggest people learn about Greg. And more importantly, have you read Napoleon Hill? I mean, do you read the stuff that Greg puts out and the original stuff? The original stuff, Greg, you admit probably is a little hard to read in the sense that it's written in sort of an old English language a little bit, or do you agree with me that when I get the audiobook and listen to it all the time and it's spoken in a way that's like that kind of Andrew Carnegie time frame, or do you not see that as a little distracting?
100%. That's why the Napoleon Hill Foundation granted myself and Sharon Lecter the opportunity to modernize and update the teaching. So what we're doing is telling it in our own terminology. For example, one of my favorite interviews was with Steve Wozniak, the co-creator of Apple. And I said, why did you and Jobs have so much success? And he says, well, we embraced our lack. I go, what do you mean? He goes, most people run from what they don't have. We ran toward it. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, when these little microchip processors came out, he goes, they were so expensive, we can afford one. He goes, Jobs sold his car, I sold my calculator. We pooled our money to buy one of these magical devices. He goes, but Hewlett Packard would make these machines that go from A to B with 20 chips. They had all the money of God. He said, so I'd take their machine and pull away 5 and make it work with 15. I'd pull away 5, get it to work with 10. Eventually, I found a way to go from A to B using our one chip. He goes, we were not trying to be innovative or cool or slick. We could have afforded one freaking chip. He goes, but by embracing that as an opportunity, we found the shortest, cleanest path. And by doing that, we changed the way people do personal computing for the rest of the world, for the rest of their life. He said, where could you be in your own business, whether you're a pet groomer or a stockbroker, and you stop looking at something as your greatest challenge and obstacle, but it could just be your greatest blessing and opportunity in disguise.
I still am mesmerized and will continue to pound that I was mesmerized that I was in a room with so many famous people that clearly couldn't buy their way into that event. That's the part that I thought was pretty cool. And I'm going to say it one more time. You basically put on one of the coolest events. You know, I've been to the Grant Cardone, like there's 20,000 people thing, and I sat in the front row. You pay a lot of money to be there. You meet a lot of people. I met some famous people there. But I got a different sense. It was almost like all the people you had there wanted to be there. I don't know how to express that. Like, and since the average person just couldn't show up and buy a ticket, it was a sense that everyone like knew why they were there. You know, I don't know how to express that, but as one
community.
of the
It's community, and it's what you're building with Risk On. I gotta tell you, you're doing the same thing. You're following all exact necessary breadcrumbs right now. It's all about building community and association, and so that's it.
The only difference between me though is we're a public company. BitNile obviously owns Alt Alliance, which owns Risk On, and people see us. We tell them we're gonna try to get $1 billion in assets. We kind of tell them how we're doing it, and then they can kind of complain the whole time that it's happening. I go, you're giving me a hard time for doing what I said I was going to do for 4 years. So doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But we've planted crops for a long time, and we're now able to we're spinning off one of our EV businesses to our shareholders. Gresham Worldwide's going public. We're doing a lot of things now that we've been incubating for 5 years. How long have you been at what you're doing with Secret Knox?
We've been doing it for 15 years right now, and before it was cool. And the whole idea for our community, again, is that we have no name tags. We don't even have any way to sign up or register. And we thought they want to be grown-ups. And so you're forced to meet one another, to network. And one of the goals that we have is that if you're saying, hey, I'm working on this project and I'm missing this one thing, you pull out your cell phone and say, hey, I've got that connection, and you make that connection on the spot. And I think that's what's missing in a lot of today's networking, is that people, there's always something in it for them, or they're looking for another angle. Yet if we actually help one another, it's amazing opportunities, because you never diminish your candle by lighting the flame of someone else.
All right. Speaking of flames, went up in flame today? We're going to have a market update. Greg's going to stick with us, and we are going to see Greg at the Risk On conference. That part is fun. I can't express when you guys meet this guy. He's infectious, and he wants to help you, and he's massively connected in a way that's, I don't know how to explain it. It's I'm very positive that he's going to be there at the conference. It was one of my highlights for getting this guy there. Hey, let's go over Netflix real quickly. If you can go to my screen. I am connected here, right? Yep. Why is it not working here?
Nope, you're not connected. The gray cable right there.
Yeah, it's in. Strange. Oh, there you go. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay. And you can put it up on the screen. Okay, so about 35%, wiping out more than $50 billion of value. But it's sort of a misleading issue with Netflix, because that's down $100+ today, on top of already being down from its high of 700. Obviously, if you've been watching this show for 211 episodes, you have been part of seeing that I thought people were high. Can you let me in here? I thought people were high when they were paying the valuation they paid for Netflix. And one of the things I'll point out to you that probably will start coming up is that Netflix has been borrowing tons of money to finance these programs. And I don't know why they have this, for the first time, I think, in a decade, showed slower, actually negative subscribers. But this is a pretty big wipeout. Now, for full disclosure, I bought a little bit today when it was down. I did. I couldn't help, after it's fallen from $700 down around $480 total in the last couple months. I couldn't help but nibble a little bit. And for full disclosure, I am short a tiny bit of Tesla by writing some call options, but that's kind of a hedge. And And so the market to me looks a little ugly. I'm going to go over some of those things. In terms of Bitcoin, we're at 41,309. Yesterday on Bitcoin Weekly, the first inaugural show of Bitcoin Weekly, we had Greg Foss on. We talked about Bitcoin being a natural credit swap for fiat currency. Now, he called it the Ponzi fiat currency, which is, of course, because they continue to print more and print more and print more and print more. That's a different argument. I'm not calling it a Ponzi. But I am saying that Bitcoin, his analysis of Bitcoin was spot on. I encourage you to go and watch the show yesterday, Bitcoin Weekly. It's on weekly, and we cover Bitcoin, and we have guests about Bitcoin. Greg, you said you owned a little Bitcoin. What's your favorite crypto you own?
Bitcoin, only because I believe it's the next gold. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just brilliant. I mean, look what's going on in the world right now. We are being tested right now with inflation, with interest rates going on, with wars, and yet the stability of $40,000 keeping it a floor level is phenomenal. And as you know, the markets chase the greatest opportunity for wealth. And as the interest rates go up and the recession comes, people are going to be even more attracted towards these more solid assets than ever before. And that's why I'm saying I think this year and the early next year will be the last time that the average person even has an opportunity to touch one of these things.
Why am I short a tiny bit? And I'm not recommending this. Please consult your financial advisor. We're not suggesting this. But we run a hedge fund. We run a lender. We run an eclectic portfolio. And we are short a little bit of Tesla because I think that story, by the way, it's a wonderful story. I'm not bashing in any way. But I think it's a little exhausted in terms of these growth stocks. You saw that with Netflix, and you basically are setting yourself up for a little bit of consolidation here in Tesla over time. I wrote some calls that expire shortly. I'm a little bit of a play here. But listen, revenue up 81% from last year, 18.76 billion for the first quarter. Shares are up in the aftermarket. That's me touching this cable somehow. Anyways, so Tesla's done pretty well. Let's go through the market real quick. You're trying to give you guys full disclosure on what I'm long.
Todd, as you're talking about this Netflix, though, I think the writing's been on the wall for this one for the last 5 years or so, because most of us saw it. Because at the end of the day, when Disney started Disney Plus and they were going to pull all their different movies from it, you knew there was going to be some type of a kickback. And then when all these other ones from Apple to Paramount Plus and all the different ones were going to start taking some of the market share, eventually it had to have some type of this situation. And now that Amazon's taken a big bite of it as well, it had to adjust. So I think it was very smart and prudent to see this kind of shorten over the long run.
Yep, I see Shopify pulling back pretty hard. I think some of the high growth stocks are going to be under pressure because of what's going on with Netflix. Clearly, the market sending Netflix down $50 billion is going to send a ripple through the growth market. I think you got to pay attention to that. But getting to the Dow up 249, almost 250. The NASDAQ down 166. I wouldn't have expected to be up with Netflix because of that happening. Mullen, obviously, registration took place. I can see shares are obviously going to hit the market. Mullen was down. I think it was 250 a day ago, 242 intraday. I see Mullen trading to 141. Like any other EV company, there were days where Tesla had all their issues. I'm not recommending Mullen. I've always told you I like the cars. I always told you I invested in Mullen when it was a private company, and when it went public, obviously we had a tremendous gain. So please do not follow my advice on Mullen. I'm just reporting to you where Mullen's trading. Some of the things that were long, and I'll make sure to give you a little bit of what we're long. We're long Yellow, YELL. That's had a pretty big pullback. We're long some BCTX. Of course, we're long Alzamend, waiting for that to go into patience. Short a little Tesla. Not really any other big positions. Of course, we have that massive position in our SPAC as we're looking to make acquisition in the SPAC. I will comment on one thing on Nile and just say to you that we filed our 10K, obviously. Everyone saw that last Friday. We reported our numbers on Monday morning. I'm the happiest I've ever been with the company. Am I happy with the stock price? If I said I was happy, I'd be lying, okay? But I'm not going to give you advice on it. I've laid out our plan. If you want to focus on today, what I've noticed in the by the way, a great interview on Charlie Rose with Warren Buffett. if you follow me, I beg you to watch the interview with Warren Buffett. I beg you to listen to how he looks at companies. It's a fresh look. He's 91 years old. It just came out the other day. I put it on Twitter. I beg you to watch that interview. It's an hour. It's great. Charlie Rose is back doing an interview. It was a great interview. I strongly suggest that. But guys, I own a business in Nile, and I know you're all worried about what the price is doing today. But if I keep telling you I had a 10-year plan, you guys can focus on it. A couple questions I'm going to get out of the way. There is no dollar rule on the NASDAQ American, or I mean the NYSE American. There's no dollar rule. I've been asked this question 1,000 times. We're not in danger right now of being delisted. We reported more than $490 million in assets, and if you looked and saw, we raised $110 million in this quarter. You could, this 2022, you could add the $490 million plus the money we raised minus what we paid off. We're debt free except for the hotels, which is non-recourse. Do the math. I don't know what you want me to do for you. I'm sympathetic, but I make myself available as the founder and chairman of a public company. I make myself available every other day. Most people don't do this. And I run a big risk in doing this because obviously regulators look at everything I say. I am as candid as I can be with you, but I can't shove your head in the water. I mean, I can't make you drink the water. I'm not recommending. In fact, I've said this 100 times. If it's too volatile for you, don't own Nile. I'm not even suggesting you own my stock, okay? I report what I'm doing. It is up to you to decide what you want to do with the company. Now, all you guys threatening to kill me and all this other stuff, I want you to know I do report that stuff. Just kidding. None of you threaten to kill me. I'm just joking around. Greg, anyone ever threatened to kill you?
No, but yet my attention doesn't.
I got your attention, didn't I?
I'm like going, holy smokes, what's going on in this show?
Nah, I'm just kidding around. I'm joking around. No one's threatened to kill me. They all love me. They all love me. Skyla, it's 4:20.
Yeah.
It's that time of day. What are you going to tell us?
What do marijuana and the Carolina Panthers have in common?
Oh, God. What do marijuana and the Carolina Panthers have in common?
They both get smoked in bowls.
Oh. They both get smoked in bowls. Mm-hmm. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha.
Took you a second.
Super Bowl. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did get. That's right. That's right. Greg, how long have you been in California? Are you a California guy?
West Coast, born and raised. Yeah, I grew up in the mean streets of Del Mar, California, and now I live in Carlsbad. It's a little seaside community. I gotta tell you, it's been phenomenal. I don't have one of those rags or riches stories. I kind of grew up a yuppie kid, and I love it. And I still skateboard every single day, and I'm 59 years old.
So I grew up in Orange County, California. Moved here when I was 4. Lived in Fullerton, then lived in Huntington Beach, then Newport, then Tustin. 46 years there, and then I moved to Vegas I can think of a billion reasons why I moved to Vegas, but I moved to Vegas. I love it here. People are like, "Oh, you live in Vegas? It must be crazy." No, actually, I live in by a golf course, and there's palm trees and there is water here, although it's probably running out. And it gets hot as hell. Hot as hell in the summertime. And then it gets freezing cold in the wintertime.
Like way colder than expected. I never understood how cold it got here.
And it gets windy.
Here.
But if you put all those things aside, it's great. And I'm 14 minutes from the airport. I'm 11 minutes from every major restaurant. As you can see, I don't miss a meal. I'm 7 minutes from a private airport. It's really a wonderful place. But there's nothing like where you are. Del Mar on the water down there. Oh my God, dude. That is God's country. There's so much great stuff about California. When I went to your show, I got to go to La Jolla. Oh my God.
It was
Nice,
great.
right?
The weather was so
Just
nice too
sickly
when we
good
were
down
there.
there,
It was
man.
just a beautiful
No
time.
wonder you're always in such a good mood.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, and my son, that's all he grew up in. The same thing, Ocean View, nice little world. I gotta tell you one quick story about my kid because I think it's kind of cool. I was doing a podcast and someone asked if I give my kid money to earn responsibility, like doing things he doesn't like mowing the lawn and pulling the weeds and stuff. I said, yeah, I want him to learn respect for wealth. And they said, that's a shame, you're ruining your kid. And I went, what are you talking about? And he says, think about it. You're training your kid from the earliest memory. The only way to make money is to do something they hate. And it changed the paradigm. So I sat him down and says, listen, I got a good Instagram following. You make great videos with TikTok. From now on, you do all my memes and I'll pay you your allowance for doing that. And by living in this lifestyle, how about you just make your bed and do the stuff and call it contribution? And the moment we shifted that and started focusing on what he excelled at, everything changed. And now he's got a bunch of dough in the bank, but he does it doing what he's really good at. And now he's teaching others to do the same.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on your car, specifically the type and make and model of it, but I did see him in the car. It is a beautiful car. No one could ever say that you don't have good taste. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, now he wants me to pick him up at school, like his chauffeur or something, but go figure.
Okay, so some of the audience out there, if I've invited you to come to the conference, the RiskOn conference, some of you from the early stages will be getting a direct invitation to be at the conference, complimentary of me. I'm going to give you a ticket. And I'm going to give you a hotel room. Those of you who know who you are, obviously stand by. Skyla and I will be in touch along with Randy. The conference is May 12th through the 15th. If you sign up at riskonevents.com, you get $100 worth of Bitcoin because we want you to be long Bitcoin. You can call 1-844-4-RISK-ON, talk to Roland, talk to Joe. There's other people there that work there. It's riskonevents.com. You get a bunch of other stuff too when you're there. You're going to get to meet Greg, which you have to do. I don't how you wouldn't want to meet Greg. And be specific, because the cool thing about Greg is just tell him what you're looking to do, because this guy is not, you never heard of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. By the way, I happen to know Kevin Bacon 1 degree away, right? So I'm like, okay, I know that game, Kevin Bacon game, right? Greg is like a half degree of Greg. Like, it's like, if you know Greg, you're like a 1 degree or 2 degree, like half a degree or 1.25 degree away from like anyone. And I mean anyone. I was distracted at his conference. I was like, okay, who is that over there? I was like, it's just like so many. It was the strangest thing ever. So you guys have got to meet Greg. He's going to be speaking there. Greg, you said you had a story about when we first started, before we went on air. And I do you remember what it was going to be about?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're talking about trials and tribulations, and people think that, success comes overnight. And Todd, it takes, years to become an overnight success. And it takes a while to learn these things. And I've been now published in 135 books, 45 different languages. And by the way, I have a star right outside the Paris Hotel, right on the sidewalk. So when we're there, make sure we go out there, and I want to take a picture while we're there. But when I did the first book I ever did, I'm dyslexic and I can't spell very well. I can't read very well. And so I got turned down by 268 publishers in a row. And the 269th one said, we'll do your book. All we want you to do is change the title, the beginning, the middle, and the end part. It was horrible, man, I'm telling you. And I didn't take it personal. I sought counsel, and they said, here's what you need as a ghostwriter. They recrafted it. It went on to become a worldwide, best-selling book. And people say that they don't believe that story. So I decided to keep something I very rarely share. These are all my rejection letters. These are all the people that told me every single reason why I couldn't do what I did. And one quote from that book alone was shared 37 million times already. And if you're watching this, you've seen it on bumper stickers and coffee mugs, and it's all about having a dream. It says, a goal written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken into steps becomes a plan. And a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. And it's really interesting how a simple little quote where so many people told you no went on to inspire many people. And the moral is, never let another person or yourself talk you out of what you know to be true. Not you hope, not you wish, not you believe, but when you know in your heart of hearts you're onto something special, stay on course and then surround yourself with people you have respect for, like at the RiskOn conference. Your life will never be the same.
Well, that's timely for me, because I have been talked out of building a holding company like 25 times, and every time I kind of agree to it, and like let's just get to be a pure play, I come back to my original thesis that I'm going to build a holding company with $1 billion in assets that has earnings power, defense, EV, a lender, crypto miner, data centers, DeFi, healthcare, biotech. I'm a capital allocator, and I don't know. Listen, I'm sympathetic about people wanting me to shift what they think is right. Greg, I wonder if you've ever experienced that when you had a goal, no one really wanted to be there. But once you got there, they said, now that you're here, let me help you with it.
Over and over and over. When
Yeah.
I wrote 3 Feet from Gold, I was turned down by, every single publisher in New York, and I invited over 300 people to go with me on the journey to meet the founder of Remax, NASCAR, Make-A-Wish, all these different people, and no one ever showed up. They all had a bad case of the one size. That means I'll take action once I see you have success,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And the thing that holds most people back is their butt, not the one they sit on. They go, I do that too, but.
Yeah,
and they let that obligation and that stipulation stop us. And it's the people that believe in the action behind the law of attraction. Those are the ones that make their dreams a reality.
It's we have more than 500 million in assets now, and I used to, when we were around 300 million, I had people finally saying, "Oh, you built something here. It's interesting. You're generating some cash. You're buying businesses that are growing. Our revenues are up 120% from last year. We'll do 3 times, we believe, what we did last year this year at about 155 million." So we went from where we started with 6 million in revenue, really 5 million in assets, to more than 500 million in assets. And revenue that's going to top 155 million this year, we believe, and then next year even more in 2023. And I see people around me, like once we get here, we're like, oh, they all grow a brain now. They're like, oh, I've got a bigger brain than you. We're going to take it from here. But that's definitely not the case. But I've definitely seen that, and will say to you that why do I lead into this? Because I believe I see the same therapist I've been seeing for 21 years. When I realized I needed therapy 21 years ago. And I read these books that you're part of, and I say, you have to educate yourself, and you have to keep reminding yourself, if your journey is to a long distance, like, right, if you think about you're going to go to Mars, like Elon wants to go, you can't just go in a straight line. You have to course correct along the way. And I think what you do, Greg, is help people course correct and remind them and put them in rooms with people that have all had to course correct. And when I met the guy who founded UGG Boots, he said, I knew he sold it to Decker, and I knew the story. And he said, I sold it to Decker because they could take it to the next level. But I got it to a certain point, and I knew I couldn't do it any further, but I was proud to see it go on. He course corrected. He did the things he thought was right, but he went and did them. And my point is, course correction makes sense. You guys check out Greg Reid, gregreid.com, Greg S. Reid on Instagram. He's a friend. He'll be there at the Risk On conference. Everybody, thank you so much for Greg Reid for being here. This is Risk On. Risk On, everybody. We'll see you. We're going to see you Friday, right? Today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see you Friday. Big things are happening, man. We'll see you later. Risk On, everybody. It's 4:20. Be safe out there. Don't do anything I would do. I only do that to sleep. Whatever your business is, if you want to scale it, you want to be here, we're going to have lots of other people there that have actually built businesses.
This will make somebody's life about 1,000 times better.
You got a business and you want to expand your business, whether you're in the restaurant business, you're in technology, whatever your business is, if you want to scale it, you want to be here. This is going to be a conference where you can learn something, meet people, and network. Limited slots are available. Head over to ToddAult.com and register today.